Hello there, welcome to writing class. In today's class, we will discuss what all are the advantages and disadvantages questions in Ielts writing task 2. Last class, we have explained about the first type. This is the second type. So let's see how you can answer such kind of questions in your IELTS exam. So let's move to the question first. Technology is being used more and more in education. Discuss the advantages and disadvantages. See the question clearly. Nowadays technology is there in everything, right? So that's why they have asked a question like this. So technology is being used more and more in education, especially in education. Technology, the advantages of technology or disadvantages of technology. What are the advantages or disadvantages of the technology? So this is our question. So first you understand what is your topic and what is the focus of the question. Okay. So your focus of a question is about the technology in education. That is your focus of your question. Okay. Focus. And discuss the advantages and disadvantages is the topic. So always find your focus and topic. Okay. So what you are going to discuss about technology in education, advantages and disadvantages. So in my last video I have said about how you can answer such questions, like what all type of framework you could use. But with a real example we are going to discuss now. The essay structure I'll tell how you can write exactly in advantages and disadvantages type question essay. First, for every question you have introduction. Yesterday also I have said about paraphrase the question. Paraphrase means use synonyms. I mean similar words to the topic sentence. Okay. So you can say that technology in education is very popular nowadays. Okay. It is a simple focus. Okay. And there are many disadvantages and disadvantages. Of course, I am going to discuss the disadvantages and a few disadvantages as well. Sorry, of course, I am going to discuss about a few advantages and a few disadvantages. So that would be your introduction. Okay, don't add more and more sentences in your introduction. Introduction just need only one topic sentence and then your opinion. That is the right thing. And if you are using a simple sentence, try to use 3 sentences. But if you are using a complex or compound sentence, try to use it in just minimize to 2 sentences. That would really good. Let's move to the body of the paragraph. So how you can write such kind of questions? See, anyway you have to at least write 2 advantages. 2 advantages is a must. Okay, and if you are going to write 2 advantages, you need to write 2 disadvantages as well. Okay, 2 advantages, 2 positives and 2 negatives. Okay, that is because you have to balance it, right? And if you think the advantages outweigh disadvantages, you can go for, instead of 2 you can write 1. Okay, but you should have sufficient reasons to explain exactly why only a single disadvantage is there. Okay, but if you think that the advantages are more, but never add more than 2. Okay, if you are going to add more than 2 advantages, your word limit will be more than 300 words. Okay, just stick to 2 advantages. But if you are going for 1 disadvantages, always just imagine that you just have to have much points to add to this disadvantage type. Why I am saying this? Because you have so many disadvantages, right? But if you are going to add 1 disadvantages, you should have sufficient reason to explain exactly what that disadvantages means and what all are the consequences and what examples you could point out to that particular type. So that's why got it, I believe. So then let's move to this in depth. And you are going to write about the 2 advantages. So what are the 2 advantages of education in technology? What do you think? So obviously we have a lot of information. So what is the first advantages? We can say it is about information. Okay, because if you want to learn a lot of information, you will get it from your with the use of technology. Example, you can say internet. Okay, you can say internet, because why? Because all our information are our fingertip. Exactly, right? If you want to learn more and more information about something, you will get it from the internet and just need a click away. So that's about the first advantages. And second advantages is about the you will get an in-depth knowledge. In depth, use this word in your academic writing. In-depth means something that is much rather than superficial information. It is more elaborated and a better answer, I could say. So use, these are the two advantages. What is first, more information you will get, and second is in-depth information you are going to get. And you can add what we are going to do, and you got the topic sentence, got it, and you got two advantages. What we are going to do, we have to expand or explain the first advantages and expand or explain the second advantages, and then we have to give the relevant example. So this is the format. So what we are going to do is like, information. So I can say that technology is in education is really helpful to get more and more information on any topic or any particular topic. For instance, or something like that, I could say that you could add like recently an article in somewhere states that there are more than 70% of people use internet to study their syllabus or something like that. You could add the example. And for the second also, you could say that in depth, if you in the past times we didn't have much sufficient resources to study, but recently with the help of the internet we could learn many things in depth, even though we do not know exactly many things, but still we are equipped with a lot of information from our internet. So this exemplifies this particular trend or something like that. So that's your second advantage. Okay, and whenever you write your point, always stick to your topic sentence. Okay, and example is a really good thing, because if you add the examiner thinks that you have got a wonderful command over your writing or like you command over your language, I could say precisely. So just go for it that. And then on the third part, like body of the paragraph, whatever things you have written, next we are moving to the disadvantages. You got it? And here we have written advantages, here I am going to write disadvantages. So what I am going to write, either you can write one disadvantage and then explain it well, or you can write two disadvantages. Okay, and then very little explanation is okay. Okay, and then but always add your example. I'll tell you how it is. For example, for this same question, like what do you think, like technology can have some problem, social interaction could be less. Okay, you could say that in education, especially when we use technology and we may not have sufficient social skills to interact with our classmates, we usually stick so much time, screen time. So that is one disadvantage. What it happens, like if you spend too much time in front of the screens, and you are going to lose so many social skills. And suppose if you are in a public place, and it might be really hard you to communicate with someone. Okay, so that is the one of the shortcoming of this particular technology. And second disadvantages, if I could say that, if I say disadvantage, you can use anything. Okay, it's a downfall, or it's a negative trend, or you can say disadvantages or negative side on anything, cons, pros, or there are different things you can vocabulary you can use. Okay, what we are going to do, second disadvantage is about sometimes our memory, or the skills may lose, in the sense that if you spend so much time in front of the screens, you might have some problems with your remembering a lot of information, and it might be really hard for you to focus, or concentration issues and all. So you can write that too, and you can add up a study as an example. For example, in Forbes magazine or something, a recent article claims that people who spend a lot of time, children who spend a lot of time in front of the screens, they have something like that. So you can add up all these things, it will make your essay a wonderful piece. Okay, so try to practice such things. And the last thing is about always the conclusion. Whatever the main points you have written, and you have to summarize. So I have said that what I said the information is really vital, and that is my first advantage, and in-depth information you get it, that's my second advantage. And so what you are going to do in conclusion, yesterday I said always use to conclude, or you can use to sum up, or something like that, in simple words. Okay, never use very complicated words. You sometimes people say at the outset or something like that, they use to recapitulate. That's not a good thing. Okay, because what the examiner sees is your language ability. Okay, your command over the language, nothing else. Your vocabulary, how much how much vocabulary you have got. It's not about like that. Okay, it's all about your simple language structure and how you can structure your writing. That's all. Okay, so what comes in your conclusion is you have just how to say that technology in education is really helpful to many. However, there are certain advantages that outweighs disadvantages, and it is always best to stick to the advantages rather than to the disadvantages, something like that. You just finish your essay in simple terms. Okay, each and everyone expect you to write a simple essay rather than to a very very professional, or with full of vocabulary, nothing like that. Okay, they just want you to have a simple skill to communicate with others. That's all about Ielts. Okay, so I hope you can write well. These tips might be helpful for you, and see you in the next video with the writing task. And thanks for watching.